Okay. Call the meeting to order. Aaron, would you mind doing the roll call?
Andy, Jake,
Present.
Rich,
Here.
Juan,
Here.
Janelle, she's online, Jasmine, Selena, and David said he's not going to make it. We have a quorum. Aaron.
Wonderful. Approval of the minutes from September 10th, 2025.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do we have any public comment?
No public comment?
None. Secretary report.
All right, currently we have 280 blighted properties on the blighted property list. An update on the judicial tax sale this year. There's right now currently sitting active on the JTS list for the December auction is 41 properties. 6 of those are blighted. 20 of those have structures. 5 of them are occupied, and there are 13 vacant lots remaining. So the Erie Land Bank, in conjunction with the Redevelopment Authority, is looking at that list of structures and blighted properties for acquisition out of the sale this year. So we'll have an update come December as far as what we end up taking and what remains on the list. That's my report.
Excellent. Thank you. Do we have any correspondence?
No correspondence.
Okay. Under old business, we have properties for rescission of blight.
Yep. The first property we have here, we have a list. A lot of them are demos, but this first one we have is a rehab. I'll give Aaron a moment to pop the pictures up on the screen so everybody can see. This is 545 West 16th Street. Property owner had me out there a couple of times to do some resend inspections. There was a couple things he had to get straightened out, and he did that. He had a plumbing permit pulled and electrical permits pulled, and they passed final inspection by the trade inspectors. They're current on their taxes, and they're ready to be rescinded.
You want to do the demos next?
Yep.
Okay.
So up first in the demos, we have 1815 Cascade. That passed final inspection March 17th of 2025. All of these demos here were performed by the Erie Land Bank or the Redevelopment Authority. The second one we have is 4119 Genesee. I finalized that demo August 12th this year. Third one we have is 602 East 11th. I finalized that one August 6th. Then we have 163 Brighton. That one was also finalized on August 6th. Then we had 3 on East 24th Street, which was 432, 651, and 705. All of those were finalized on September 18th.
Motion to rescind, Aaron.
I will second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, under new business, properties for declaration of blight.
We have 4 properties on the list for this meeting. Up first is 707 West 17th Street. I'm just going to give Aaron a second to get the photos up there. This is actually it's a commercial auxiliary building. It's just a garage. It's a little garage that sits on 17th Street behind the old Rite Aid. They're behind in taxes for 23, 24, and if you add in 2025's taxes, they owe just shy of $1,500. There's no active utilities at the property. We've got 3 cases with the current owner dating back to 2022. There's been 5 notice of violations sent. Notices have been posted to the structure. Repair and demo order has been posted to the structure, and we've never gotten a response from the owner. As you can see, the weeds overgrown into the sidewalk, impeding on the right-of-way. Just never seen anything happen with this property, and it was acquired in 2021 on a tax deed, and there's been nothing done with it since it was acquired.
Is it current on taxes?
It is not, nope.
Oh.
They owe 23, 24, and if you add in 2025, they owe just shy of 1,500.
Okay. Was it exposed at the upset sale, do you know?
That I don't know.
We have a motion to blight?
So move. Oh, second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
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 Next on the list, we have 538 East 29th Street. This property is in the owner's name dating back to 2003. They're overdue for 2024 taxes, and if you add in an estimated value for 2025's taxes, they owe just shy of $5,000 in taxes. There are no active utilities at the structure. The water was shut off on March 15th of this year, and they owe $1,468 and some change. We have 5 cases with the current owner of the property. I have a whole long list of notice of violations that have been sent. There was probably 10 to 12 notice of violations sent over the last year. There was a little bit of response from the owner, but nothing really was done to correct the major violations there. There's 4 citations filed with no response to the citations. Was actually called by the property maintenance inspector to that property because there was reports that EPD had been there removing squatters. And while we were there, the doors were locked, and there was evidence that people were going in and out of the rear window of the structure. So we actually contacted the owner while we were there, and the owner agreed to come over and unlock the door and have EPD sweep the structure. And the interior of the structure is it's in severe disrepair. So we had explained to the owner, hey, we've given you some time to make these corrections and you haven't. We're going to ask for a blight declaration, but that doesn't mean that we won't work with you to make the corrections and get it off the blight list in the end. But because of the current status of the property, the code enforcement officer and myself are asking for a blight declaration.
Okay, do we have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Up next, we have 310 East 29th Street. This property was just picked up by a loan servicing company out of town on a sheriff's deed this past spring. The structure is illegally occupied, not by the previous owner, but by somebody related to the previous owner, but not related in a good way. So they are current on taxes. They have an active electrical service, but they don't have gas and they don't have water. The water was shut off this just July, and they owe $1,402 and some change. We've got 4 cases with the property, 7 notice of violations sent total, 4 of them to this current owner that took possession in the spring, and we've had no response from the owner. There's 3 citations that were issued 2 months ago with no response. It was explained to me that the occupants inside are hostile and to be careful when on the property. With it being illegally occupied and no response from this loan servicing company, we're asking for a blight declaration. That doesn't mean that the property can't be rehabbed in accordance with our codes and ordinances. But with the current situation and what's going on at the property, again, the property maintenance inspector from that area asked that I see if I can get a blight declaration to maybe motivate this loan servicing company to do something with it.
Okay, do we have a motion to blight?
Motion to blight, Aaron.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
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 And last here on the list for declaration of blight, we have 1722 Raspberry, which this is a commercial brick building on Raspberry. I actually had my hand in some of the cases. So this was my area when I was a property maintenance inspector. This property, they owe taxes for 2024, and if I remember correctly, they would owe taxes, they would pay 1 year, just to try to avoid the sale. If you add in an estimated total for 2025's taxes, they owed $6,265 and some change. There are no active utilities. The water for this structure hasn't been turned on since 2008. I suspect that it's been sitting vacant since then. We have 2 cases dating back to 2023 and 5 notices of violations sent to the owner. At one point throughout the case history, I remember receiving a call from the owner. He was trying to sell it. He's from out of town. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell it. Well, it never sold. I initially, when I first got called out there in 2023, it was because of a squatter situation. And occasionally we do get calls that there are squatters breaking into the building and it does need to get secured. I have never filed a lien to have it secured. I believe some of the neighbors in the neighborhood are the ones that actually secure the structure because the owner hasn't made any effort to come up here and do anything with it.
Okay, do we have a motion to blight?
I'll second.
Second. Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And that's all I have.
Thank you. Being no other business, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Aaron.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.